Not one of them is alive right now.
You have a cousin, my understanding, who is or was pregnant.
Yes.
How's she
She,
doing?
I mean, she's surviving. She was pregnant. She went to the hospital. They refused her at the hospital. She ended up having to have a cesarean section, which, as any mother will tell you, is a. I mean, when my wife had it, there's a million doctors. There's all these. She had nothing. She went to a small room. They did the surgery. They had to have her out within 10 hours of that, and now she's had to move several times within Gaza just to be able to survive with these wounds.
Shortly after having a baby. What is your reaction to this news that there are going to be these 4-hour windows each day to allow civilians to move around within Gaza from the Israeli government?
As a Palestinian, I welcome it because that's my family. But it's not enough. More needs to be done. There needs to be a ceasefire. There needs to be an end to the blockade of humanitarian aid. These people are dying. They are running out of food. My cousins are telling me there's literally no water or food for them to eat or drink. We need to open this up. These kids have done nothing wrong. 4,000 children have been killed at this point. 4,000. That's more than 9/11. This is a humanitarian crisis at epic levels. We need to stop, and it's our government that is partially responsible, and we need to be able to stand up, have the bravery to stand up to anybody in the world and say, you need to stop. You need to stop this. There are better ways to do this. If there was a mass shooter, huddled in a school, you wouldn't blow up the whole school, right? You need to be technical about how you're going to go after this, because in the meanwhile, my family members, the innocent people there, are being killed. They're being slaughtered. This is turning into a genocide. We need to stop it now.
Sammy, Shaban, I appreciate you sharing your perspective. And again, I'm incredibly sorry. This is, as I said earlier, it's a profound loss, that number of people from your single family. Thank you again for joining us and sharing that
Thank you, Abby.
And up next for us.
We have a crew on the way to the scene. You can stay with us on the air.
All right, so Fox 5 Atlanta with that pretty newsy update there. So you heard from some of the anchors there that no explosive device has been found. But the reason we're talking about this, one of the passengers on the flight received on their phone an airdrop message with a threat that there was an explosive device. If you have an iPhone, you know how the airdrop function works there. So emergency management crews are on the tarmac. They believe some people are still on that flight, sitting on that tarmac, that Frontier flight there in Atlanta at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. The FBI is the lead on this. We'll have to follow this story to see what comes of it and if anyone is taken into custody. So wanted to make sure we got that in there as well on this Thursday night. Back out live to the airport there. Like I said, it doesn't look like traffic is being impeded, airport traffic there. Flights still incoming and outgoing there. So we would bring you that news if that was the case, whether or not there was, a ground stop issued or the like, but it doesn't look like that's happening still due to this investigation. So we'll have still more top stories on this Thursday. When we come back, wanted to get this in there before the top of the hour.
Showers likely. Highs in the upper 50s. temperature falling in the lower 50s in the afternoon. Northeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Chance of rain 70%. Saturday night, showers. Near steady temperature in the upper 40s. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 80%. And now the extended forecast. Sunday and Sunday night, showers likely. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the lower 40s. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Tuesday and Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Highs around 60. Lows in the mid-40s. Thursday and Thursday night, partly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the upper 40s. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information, please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. The current time is 10:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The following reports of weather, temperature, and wind were made at 10 p.m. Atlanta, it was mostly cloudy. 67 degrees, dew point 59, relative humidity 75%. Wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Pressure was 30.04 inches and steady. Peachtree City, it was partly cloudy. 58 degrees.
Open up we have time for maybe 1 or 2 questions, and when we point to you, make sure you say your name and your outlet. But before we switch to that, I want us, before questions are thrown out, us to think about the dignity of the veterans that are standing here. And let's give them the respect that is so deserved before we start with questions. Because this is a moment that we want to highlight. As members of Congress, we want to highlight them. We want their voices to be known and told. They're standing up saying ceasefire now. They're standing up saying I'm putting myself on the line and at risk because this country should listen. And so, as we open up for questions, I'm asking for the respect for our veterans, because the pancake meal tomorrow or Saturday is not, that's not that. I mean, it's great. I hope y'all get y'all pancake meal. But let's respect them as we go forward with these questions. Yes.
So Israel is.
I know you, but you say yeah.
Nick Wu with Politico. Mm-hmm. Israel is saying that they will do 4-hour humanitarian pauses each day. Is that enough, or do you want more?
So I will give my answer, and if any of you would like to chime in, please, I would like for somebody to come forward. No. 4 hours. We get a break. The idea that we get a break for 4 hours. A break so that we can have food. I saw someone spoke about it and they said, thank you for giving us raisins for a few hours. And then do we go back to bombing? So absolutely not 4 hours. I never personally calls for a humanitarian pause, and I'm not going to call for a humanitarian pause, and I don't want to see, even though that is what's happening, a 4-hour-a-day humanitarian pause, because what we need is to stop the bombing. What we need is, what is that mental anguish when you know, well, we get a break for 4 hours, but as soon as that 4 hours is over, then what? How dare we treat humans in that way? How dare we be so careless and so inhumane and heartless to where we decide that 4 hours is enough time to just to make sure to get you some stuff.
Universities are not doing their job. And just you should know that today was Kristallnacht, the 85th anniversary, when 1,000 synagogues were destroyed by the Nazis in one night. The United Kingdom had 1,350% increase in anti-Jewish hate crimes the week after. France has had 1,000 cases. Germany had 2,600 Hamas-related hate crimes. So there's an unbelievable amount of emotion that's out there. And I think what everyone has to understand is one way to stop all of this terrible thing is for those hostages to be released. And when Hamas will give up, that'll be the end of the shooting. But in the meantime, they've used UNRWA schools as launching sites. They take 9-month-old Jewish babies and entire families of Palestinians, do whatever they have to do to protect their leaders who are hiding underneath the hospitals. So I would just say that what I looked at last night as a parent and grandparent, at a time, it took place on Simchat Torah, the happiest day in the Jewish calendar, on a Sabbath, is really beyond the pale. And I will say, at least my personal view, I never thought I would ever say such a thing. But Hamas, in a way, is worse than the Nazis, because the Nazis worked very hard to erase evidence of their crimes against humanity. Hamas has live streamed them. This is a whole new ballgame. And as I said, my heart goes out to the innocents, but Israel has no choice. There can't be the next round when these people can come into people's homes and just burn them, shoot them. I won't say, the rest of it. It was a very tough 43 minutes. And as I said, my heart goes out. You were there with this gentleman in the studio. We need peace, but we'll get peace the day after Hamas is eliminated.
Rabbi Abraham Cooper, I appreciate you sharing all of that. And I also just want to say I do appreciate you extending your condolences to our previous guest. I think part of the problem here, so many people don't see the validity in each other's pain and suffering. And I appreciate you sharing that as you shared what you saw last night. Thank you so much for joining us.
If I can just say one very quick thing. There will be peace. We were involved in the events leading up to the Abraham Accords. Jews and Arabs are not, do not have to be lifetime and enemies. We need new leadership. When we get it, there will be peace.
They certainly do not have to be lifetime enemies. Thank you so much, Rabbi. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And up next for us, a stunning award 35 years later.
I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from you get a fast.
Running out of energy, and people don't have water. We need a ceasefire.
Thank you, Congressman. Michael Jones, Super Creative News. Thank you for putting us together. Thank you, Salvador, for being here. The president was asked, leaving the White House on his way to Illinois, he was asked, what are the chances of a Gaza ceasefire? And he said, none, no possibility. I want to get your response to the president, the leader of the Democratic Party, to the question of a ceasefire as early as most recently as this morning, when he said none, no possibility.
Yeah, we're going to keep pushing for a ceasefire. The one thing about it is I was elected to speak my own voice, the voice of my community, my district. So was Summer Lee, so was Dilga Ramirez, so was so many others. All of the 18 of us that are on the ceasefire now resolution that are all black and brown people. So were those who are also calling for a ceasefire just around the world. They have their reasons why in their organizations, and even those nations who stood up to say we're calling for a ceasefire. So yes, if the president, I have not seen that, so I will say I have not seen that, so I have not heard it. This is the first I'm hearing about it. But I will say we will keep pushing and we will keep fighting. It takes me back to the days in Ferguson when we were pushing and fighting and we were saying that you can't keep killing us. You know, you can't keep killing black folks, you know, disproportionately in this country and we not say anything. And you're doing it with impunity. So you know what, we're going to be in these streets. Black Lives Matter. And they were saying, no, you can't say that. It's all lives matter. And we said, no, we're going to keep on fighting. And we fought and we fought and we marched and we organized and we continued. And then a few years later, all of a sudden, oh, you know what? You all were right. You know what? And so I have hope that it won't take, number one, that long. I'm seeing this change. You know, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to stay in the streets. You know, people are going to keep organizing. Folks that have voices and experiences that we don't, that's who are the ones also leading this. And so we need people to understand that veterans, they have been there and they are saying. And so for our commander-in-chief, that is his. If that is his position today, there is also this afternoon and a tonight.
$1 million. Let's send out a Vero winner. Our first winning number is 11. That's followed by 29. Your next number is 30. That's followed by 26. Up next is 42. And your final winning Jumbo Bucks lotto number is 33. Good luck.
Stories that matter to Alpharetta are on Channel 2 Action News. The sound of gunshots. A 20-year-old has died, and a neighbor thinks their security camera captured a conversation from the killers.
A metro area man says he took a taxi. Now his puppy is missing.
And my dog was gone. My dog, all my stuff, the car was gone.
New tonight, we're getting answers.
Get on the ground now! Stop! Get on the ground now! Stop!
New video shows a police chase that doesn't end here. What happened after a suspect jumped a fence to get away? All new on WSB tonight. So glad you stayed up and watched. I'm George Estevez.
Hello, I'm Wendy Corona, and we do want to start with this breaking news. A bomb threat on a plane at Hartsfield-Jackson, Atlanta's International Airport. You're looking live right now at the airport, where in just the last 2 hours, Frontier Airlines says someone airdropped a message to a passenger claiming there was a bomb on the plane. The plane did land safely, and first responders have not found any explosives. The passengers, they were just let off the plane within the last 20 minutes. We're going to stay on this and bring you anything we learn.
Now to that deadly shooting in a quiet neighborhood in DeKalb County. News Chopper 2 brought you live to the scene on Channel 2 Action News at 5. And now we're getting new video showing the moment after that shooting. Channel 2's Larry Spruill live for us now on Bear Mountain Street. So Larry, you heard the gunshots in that video.
I did, George, and it was very disturbing. And police say that that man was shot and killed right outside of this building right here. But I want to take a look at the sidewalk right there. Neighbors tell me that that is a bus stop. The shooting happened around 2:30 this afternoon, so you can imagine the frantic and the chaos that was happening earlier today. Tonight, a 20-year-old is dead.
I was quite shocked to hear that this incident happened.
Winifred Ferrario, like many of her DeKalb County neighbors, cannot believe a shooting happened just feet away from her home.
I'm shocked to hear that this happened in this neighborhood. This is a quiet neighborhood. Everyone gets along.
You can see the heavy police presence from News Chopper 2. Neighbors tell me it was pure chaos outside this clubhouse on Bear Mountain Street in DeKalb County. That's where police say someone shot and killed a 20-year-old. Channel 2 Action News obtained this security video. You can hear the shooting. Shortly after, you see two people running away.
You shot that? Yeah. What the Come on,
Winifred tells me, although normally this is a quiet and nice neighborhood, she's scared.
I am very much on edge. I have two sons that are in their early 20s, and I just don't want to see anything happen to them either.
And I did reach out to police about that video that you saw in my story just to see were they aware of that video. I have not heard back just yet. We are live in DeKalb County. Larry Spruill, WSB Tonight.
And just how you pointed out, Larry, that bus stop right next to where that shooting happened. Incredible. Thank you.
Now let's take you to what is new, happening now and next. New tonight, police say 2 Georgia residents were killed in a deadly crash involving a human trafficker. We got this video of the wreck from South Texas. Police say a smuggler was trying to get away from police and hit an SUV. Jose and Isabel Lerma of Dalton both died in that crash, as did the suspect.
So right now, crews are working to repair a gas leak in North Fulton County. Northside Drive in Sandy Springs is closed. Police told us someone cut a gas line in a construction zone. Triple team traffic will help you get around the closure on Channel 2 Action News this morning starting at 4:30.
And next, it could take days for investigators to intercept a letter that was sent to Fulton County's elections hub they believe was laced with fentanyl. The FBI has joined local law enforcement in the urgent search for that letter, and Fulton County isn't alone. Law enforcement confirms other states have received similar letters laced with fentanyl, likely sent by the same person.
Some people like to call fentanyl a drug, but it's actually poison. It'll kill you. It'll kill you very quickly, very easily, and it's very dangerous.
Georgia was one of several states to deal with that danger. Leaders in Nevada, Washington State, Oregon, and California also got envelopes with a powdery substance. Hazmat crews had to handle all of them. Several of them did have fentanyl, and at least one of the letters called for ending elections.
Tonight, an Atlanta man is in jail for making threats to a different Georgia lawmaker. Police say Sean Cirillo called and threatened to shoot Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Greene released a statement thanking law enforcement for arresting him. Cirillo has several prior charges and will face a judge December 13th.
You may have seen this tonight. Demonstrators were in Midtown Atlanta in front of the Israeli consulate. Traffic was backed up around 12th Street tonight, and we saw police directing cars as pro-Palestinian protesters lined those streets. They were calling for a ceasefire in the war. Police say everything was peaceful tonight. And tonight, Emory University says a professor accused of making anti-Semitic comments no longer works for the university. Last month, they put Dr. Abir Abu Yabis on leave for social media posts she made in the wake of the Hamas terror attack on Israel. Emory did not specify if they fired her or if she resigned.
New tonight, police arrested a guy who they say murdered a woman who he was trafficking. This happened in Douglasville. Police found the victim's body at the Econo Lodge on Cherokee Boulevard last month. Police say the suspect told them she killed herself, but after investigating, they found he was selling her for sex. He's now in jail, facing several charges.
New video tonight shows how police chased down a group of teenagers accused of stealing a car early this morning, and what could have been a simple arrest turned into a police chase.
3 a.m. Police catch this truck turning out of a Duluth gas station and onto Buford Highway. The lights go on and the truck takes off. Dashcam video shows the truck then pass other patrol cars who quickly join the chase, which gets onto I-285. Eventually, you see all these police cars cut them off. They push the truck to the shoulder and the doors open.
Get on the ground now! Stop! Get on the ground now!
But if you missed it, let's show you a different angle. 2 teenagers surrender, but one hops the fence and makes a run for it. So officers run across the road and up some steps to chase him. And it doesn't take long. They find him and close in.
Get on the ground!
I got him.
So police say the city's real-time crime center coordinated the effort and helped them immediately spot that stolen car.
That video was something. A major win now today for prosecutors in the YSL gang trial. A judge ruled that rapper Young Thug's own lyrics can be used as evidence. Channel 2's Michael Seiden shows us how this could impact the entire music industry.
Man, it's a different time, you know what I mean? You have to be real careful about what you say in these lyrics, man.
Atlanta hip-hop legend Pastor Troy reacting to Thursday's decision by a judge who decided that he will allow rap lyrics to be used as evidence in the upcoming YSL gang trial against rapper Young Thug and his co-defendants.
A lot of these rappers don't have nothing to worry about because they be lying anyway. But if you do have some situations that may be able to come up in court, don't say nothing in your song that you wouldn't want to say in front of the judge.
Young Thug, whose real name is Jeffrey Williams, is accused of being one of the leaders of the criminal street gang Young Slime Life, a South Atlanta gang that prosecutors allege is responsible for committing robberies and murders across the city. Lawyers for Young Thug call those claims false and argue that YSL is a successful music label. Right now, prosecutors are planning to use 17 sets of rap lyrics by the rapper and his collaborators.
Your Honor, someone could look at that indictment and see one thing for sure. That's not fantasy. People are dead.
In one song, Young Thug raps, "I've never killed anybody, but I got something to do with that body." In another hit, he raps, "Playing with YSL, N-word, gonna shoot you." Prosecutors will also look at his 2019 track, "Just How It Is." Gave the lawyer close to $2 million. He handled all the killings, he raps. "We don't speak about expletive on wax. It's all mob business. We known to kill the biggest cats of all kittens."
Man, there's a million things to talk about. You don't have to talk about things that necessarily happen.
The judge also made it very clear that any other lyrics that are introduced during trial will have to go through the same process. We'll stay on top of it. We're in downtown Atlanta. I'm Michael Seiden, WSB Tonight.
So the case has seen several weird moments in the last 10 months. In January, a judge made a juror write a 30-page essay for missing jury duty. Then there's the alleged drug deal that happened inside the courtroom. And the attorney who was arrested for bringing his prescription medication into court, he had to buy the other lawyer's buffalo wings from a strip club as punishment. And in June, police arrested a deputy for allegedly sneaking contraband to a defendant.
Police say they finally caught a man who shot a Cobb County hotel clerk, but not before that suspect went on a crime spree. Police say after Gary Elliott walked into a Kennesaw hotel and shot that clerk in the face, he then went to a Tesla dealership, damaged several cars there, then stole one and took off. Police actually caught him for speeding, and he is now in the Cobb County jail.
Tonight, Georgia State University is revamping its security after a deadly shooting right near campus. The school is using lights now with artificial intelligence that can actually alert police if there are loud noises like gunshots, along with dozens of surveillance cameras and emergency call boxes. The cost, about $3 million.
Clouds have moved in with a cold front. Take you through that timeline when some wet weather moves through and when our temperatures take a tumble.
Droughts and wildfires in North Georgia, and we're learning these weather disasters will cost you. How you can save money before something happens to your home.
First, though, this story. What started as a taxi ride ended with a man losing his dog. The search to find the dog and the questions about the taxi driver. Next.
Close. Lawmakers should stop reckless attacks and instead pass reforms to fix the immigration system.
Tonight, a dramatic decline in representation in the classroom. Data from USA Facts shows from 2017 to 2018, 6.5% of public school teachers in the U.S. were black men. But a new report from 2022-2021 finds that percentage has dropped to just 1.3%. Atlanta News First Savannah Louie explains the advocates that warn we face a critical shortage.
The teaching profession must man up.
Verdelia Turner, president of the Georgia Federation of Teachers, calls for more support as fewer black men lead classrooms nationwide.
We must have men in every profession, especially black men, so that all children of all races and ethnicities will see that African American men lead, teach, and nurture.
Turner cites the 4 C's for black men leaving the industry: compensation, conditions, culture, and a climate of disrespect in classrooms.
Black teachers are finding more mobility and more satisfaction in other professions that they normally would not have been able to go into 20, 30 years ago.
If I could sit at a desk or if I could sell houses and make six figures, why not?
Carl Weaver, a former Atlanta area teacher, has seen the scenario play out amongst some former colleagues.
Having to make a decision that is what's best, not only for yourself, but what's best for your family.
According to the Department of Education, black students who had a black teacher for 1 year before 4th grade earn higher math and reading scores than black students only taught by white teachers. They are also 5 percentage points more likely to graduate high school and 4 points more likely to go to college.
If we don't have enough male teachers, it's that we don't have enough black male role models.
Was Savannah Louie reporting. Advocates are pushing for more political power for teachers. They want policy members from local board members to the state capitol to support measures that can improve the 4 C's: compensation, conditions, culture, and climate in classrooms.
So long to our near record warmth in North Georgia. We're actually going to be cooler than normal for a stretch, and our rain chances increase. I'll break it all down for you in the 7-day forecast.
And we're staying on top of that breaking news at the world's busiest airport. A bomb threat on a flight from Baltimore to Atlanta under investigation right now. You're looking live at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International. Frontier Airlines says a passenger was airdropped a message saying a bomb was on the plane. So far, nothing has been found, thankfully, but police are still investigating, turning that plane upside down, searching for anything. We'll update the story once we learn more.
A lot can happen.
Ends with his puppy missing.
That's right, and now the owner is sharing his story, hoping that someone helps him get his dog back. Channel 2's Michael Dowdna joins us now live in Midtown Atlanta. Michael, this is an interesting one. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, it all seems to start actually here, right near that fire hydrant. That's where Amon Pride says he was dropped off by this taxi driver. He still needed money for the fare, so he went upstairs, leaving behind his bags and dog as a promise that he would come back. But by the time he returned, there was no car, no bags, and no puppy.
So he parked right there in the last slot right there.
At first, it seemed like a normal taxi ride for Amon Pride with his 2 bags and 5-month-old puppy, Wasabi.
Super playful, like, you know, she'd play for like a couple hours and sleep. Play for a couple hours and like sleep.
But when they arrived at 710 Peachtree, Pride had to get cash from upstairs to pay the fare and left his bags and puppy as a promise that he would return.
The thing he said to me was like, oh, there's no way you're not coming back for that.
But while going up, a fire alarm went off and he got stuck in the elevator for around 10 minutes. So by the time he got back to the street to pay,
and my dog was gone. My dog, all my stuff, the car was gone.
Pride says he thinks the cab driver stole his dog. So he called the cab driver, who claimed he waited around an hour.
I was outside for as long as I could have been, and I did what I had to do.
The driver says he put the bags and puppy on the curb and left.
I'm not a storage room, so I got rid of his belongings, is what I'm telling you.
Despite the contrasting stories, the fact remains that a taxi ride ended with a man missing a dog, and he wants his puppy back.
I just feel like a terrible dog parent, to be honest with you. Like that I like left her in the hands of a stranger.
Channel 2's Michael Dowdna joins us again live from Midtown. Michael, what are police doing about all of this?
Yeah, police are actually investigating this case. However, according to the incident report, the security cameras over there actually don't point in that direction. So they can't tell if the cab driver or the dog owner are lying in this case. So at this point, right now it is seen as lost property, not something more extreme like stolen property. Of course, the dog owner here says if anyone sees his dog, oh, he'd like any help, try to return it back to him. Guys, back to you.
An interesting set of circumstances that led up to all of that, too. And, well, we hope he gets his dog back. Michael, thank you.
Yeah.
A mother is now suing a Buckhead apartment complex. She says her son was shot and killed trying to prevent a dog napping, and the complex security failed him. She says gates at Willow West at Lindbergh were broken, letting the suspect come in and shoot Jaden McKinnon. A property manager told us they are aware of that lawsuit, but did not comment any further.
Listen to this one. New tonight, Atlanta leads the nation in something that you're not going to be happy about. We've gotten more robocalls in the last month than any other city in the country. That's 181 million automated calls in October, up nearly 20% from September. Across the country, 1,700 robocalls go out every second.
They are busy, right? Now, let's keep you ahead of what's happening next with our weather, giving you a live look over Midtown Atlanta, where we are still under drought conditions tonight, but might get a little bit of relief there.
Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz live for you in Severe Weather Center 2. Brad, you're tracking that much-needed relief when he's talking about.
We do need it. The drought has expanded. It's gotten worse. And our rainfall deficit, of course, increasing. I'm tracking a cold front that's going to bring us some of that much-needed rainfall and a big drop in temperatures. This is a live look at the world's busiest airport. Right now, we're at 65 degrees in Atlanta. That's our average high temperature this time of year. We've been so far above average. We got to 78 today, 80s earlier in the week. That's going to change. Storm Tracker 2 HD, we are dry here now. You see the rain in parts of Alabama. This has not made much progress to the east since I was tracking this rain on Channel 2 Action News earlier today at 4, 5, and 6. But I do expect this is going to start to move in overnight and in particular into tomorrow, and then we'll have some rain chances into the weekend as well. Not a total rain out, but the weather on the way does include that cold front coming our way, the rain returning. I'm going to break down that timeline momentarily, and looking ahead towards temperatures turning much cooler, getting on the other side of average. Look at the drought as it's expanded here through the fall. The new drought monitor, this comes out once a week. It came out earlier today, and a particular look back into northwest Georgia. That is exceptional drought. The worst category. This doesn't happen often. It's been about 7 years since any part of Georgia has had exceptional drought. The rain that we're going to get will help. It's not going to be enough to eliminate it completely, but it will be a step in the right direction. So the cold front coming in overnight by 7 a.m. tomorrow. A few showers mainly northwest Georgia. And then as we head through the day, some scattered showers, but we'll have some dry hours as well, in particular tomorrow night. But then as we head into Saturday morning, showers start to return. Off and on showers through the day on Saturday. Headed to Athens to watch the game, or Tech up in Clemson, dodging scattered showers. You may want to grab a poncho or a raincoat. Bring it with you if you're going to be in the stadiums. And then Sunday morning starts with wet weather, and we'll have periods of rain through Sunday as well. So you add it all up, rainfall totals Friday plus Saturday plus Sunday. The blue northern half of the year, that's half to 1 inch. Some spots in purple have a little more than an inch. That's far north and northwest Georgia, where the drought conditions are most extreme. That would be good placement. Here's your 5-day forecast with the weekend always in view. There's that rain off and on the next few days. Look at the temperatures. Tomorrow, upper 60s, close to 70. Highs in the 50s this weekend, and then we start to dry out again early next week, back to the 60s.
As we deal with yet another severe weather event in these droughts, Brad was just talking about, new numbers show Georgians spend more money after disasters than people in other parts of the country. So this year we covered the tornadoes that affected families in LaGrange, and then Hurricane Idalia when it tore through South Georgia. Advisors from Bankrate say to save money, do the work ahead of time.
For fire, you want to make sure you don't have flammable materials outside your home. For flood, you want to make sure your gutters are clear and that water isn't pooling up outside your home unnecessarily.
Those small measures that you can take now can prevent high-priced repairs.
New tonight, a plan to fix a school staffing shortage impacting kids' mental health. There's a new grant to bring psychologists to Gwinnett and Paulding County schools, and the workers will come from Georgia State University. Thanks to a $3 million federal grant to help bring diverse candidates into GSU's training program and hopefully get them to those local school districts.
So we told you last night the Georgia gas tax is suspended again, and it comes as prices are falling. We've mapped out some of the cheapest prices in the northern part of Georgia. So, for example, you can find gas for $2.31 right here in Dawson County at the Easy Buy on Henry Grade Highway. That's in Dawsonville. You can find gas for $2.35 in Forsyth County at the Texaco right there on War Hill Road in Cumming. Gas $2.48. That's going to be at the Costco on Parkway Boulevard in Athens. And in Gordon County, it is $2.53 at the Murphy USA on West Belmont Drive in Calhoun.
The actors' strike may be over, but it'll take months before you get to start watching your favorite TV shows. We talked to a Georgia TV and film producer about the road back for thousands of people who need the work.
On Wall Street, the Dow lost 220 points. The Nasdaq dropped nearly 129.
I'm Channel 2's.
Around the region, Rome, it was cloudy, 69 degrees, wind south at 3 miles an hour. Chattanooga, it was mostly cloudy, 68 degrees, wind north at 8 miles an hour. At Gainesville, it was partly cloudy, visibility 10 miles. Temperature was 67 degrees, dew point 59. And the pressure was 30.04 inches and falling. Athens, it was mostly cloudy, 62 degrees, wind variable at 3 miles an hour. Macon, it was clear, 61 degrees, wind southeast at 3 miles an hour. Columbus, it was partly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind calm. Marietta, it was partly cloudy, 64 degrees, wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Birmingham, it was mostly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind east at 3 miles an hour. Huntsville, it was cloudy, 61 degrees, wind north at 9 miles an hour. Here is the hazardous weather outlook. This hazardous weather outlook is for portions of north and central Georgia. For tonight, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. And now the extended outlook for the period Friday through Wednesday. No hazardous weather is expected at this time. Spotter information statement. Spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. Here is the official forecast from your National Weather Service for the West Central Georgia listening area. Tonight, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers this evening, then a chance of showers after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Light southwest winds. Chance of rain 30%. Friday, a chance of showers in the morning, then showers likely in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 60s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Friday night, showers likely. Lows in the lower 50s. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Veterans Day, showers likely. Highs in the upper 50s. Temperature falling in the lower 50s in the afternoon. Northeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Chance of rain 70%. Saturday night, showers. Near steady temperature in the upper 40s. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 80%. And now the extended forecast. Sunday and Sunday night, showers likely. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the lower 40s. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Tuesday and Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Highs around 60. Lows in the mid-40s. Thursday and Thursday night, partly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the upper 40s. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information, please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. The current time is 11:26 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The following reports of weather temperature and wind were made at 11 p.m. Atlanta, it was mostly cloudy. 65 degrees, dew point 59, relative humidity 81%. Wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Pressure was 30.03 inches and falling. Peachtree City, it was partly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 56, relative humidity 96%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.04 inches and falling. Anniston, it was partly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 55, relative humidity 93%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.03 inches and steady. Elsewhere around the region, Rome, it was cloudy, 69 degrees, wind south at 3 miles an hour. Chattanooga, it was mostly cloudy, 68 degrees, wind north at 8 miles an hour. At Gainesville, it was partly cloudy. Visibility 10 miles. Temperature was 67 degrees, dew point 59. And the pressure was 30.04 inches and falling. Athens, it was mostly cloudy, 62 degrees, wind variable at 3 miles an hour. Macon, it was clear, 61 degrees, wind southeast at 3 miles an hour. Columbus, it was partly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind calm. Marietta, it was partly cloudy, 64 degrees, wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Birmingham, it was mostly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind east at 3 miles an hour. Huntsville, it was cloudy, 61 degrees, wind north at 9 miles an hour. Here is the hazardous weather outlook. This hazardous weather outlook is for portions of north and central Georgia. For tonight, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. And now the extended outlook for the period Friday through Wednesday. No hazardous weather is expected at this time. Spotter information statement. Spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. Here is the official forecast from your National Weather Service for the West Central Georgia listening area. Tonight, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers this evening, then a chance of showers after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Light southwest winds. Chance of rain 30%. Friday, a chance of showers in the morning, then showers likely in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 60s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Friday night, showers likely. Lows in the lower 50s. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Veterans Day, showers likely. Highs in the upper 50s. Temperature falling in the lower 50s in the afternoon. Northeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Chance of rain 70%. Saturday night, showers. Near steady temperature in the upper 40s. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 80%. And now the extended forecast. Sunday and Sunday night, showers likely. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the lower 40s. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Tuesday and Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Highs around 60. Lows in the mid-40s. Thursday and Thursday night, partly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the upper 40s. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information, please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. The current time is 11:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The following reports of weather, temperature, and wind were made at 11 p.m. Atlanta, it was mostly cloudy. 65 degrees, dew point 59, relative humidity 81%. Wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Pressure was 30.03 inches and falling. Peachtree City, it was partly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 56, relative humidity 96%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.04 inches and falling. Anniston, it was partly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 55, relative humidity 93%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.03 inches and steady. Elsewhere around the region, Rome, it was cloudy, 69 degrees, wind south at 3 miles an hour. Chattanooga, it was mostly cloudy, 68 degrees, wind north at 8 miles an hour. At Gainesville, it was partly cloudy. Visibility 10 miles. Temperature was 67 degrees, dew point 59. And the pressure was 30.04 inches and falling. Athens, it was mostly cloudy, 62 degrees, wind variable at 3 miles an hour. Macon, it was clear, 61 degrees, wind southeast at 3 miles an hour. Columbus, it was partly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind calm. Marietta, it was partly cloudy, 64 degrees, wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Birmingham, it was mostly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind east at 3 miles an hour. Huntsville, it was cloudy, 61 degrees, wind north at 9 miles an hour. Here is the hazardous weather outlook. This hazardous weather outlook is for portions of north and central Georgia. For tonight, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. And now the extended outlook for the period Friday through Wednesday. No hazardous weather is expected at this time. Spotter information statement. Spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. Here is the official forecast from your National Weather Service for the West Central Georgia listening area. Tonight, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers this evening, then a chance of showers after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Light southwest winds. Chance of rain 30%. Friday, a chance of showers in the morning, then showers likely in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 60s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Friday night, showers likely. Lows in the lower 50s. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Veterans Day, showers likely. Highs in the upper 50s. Temperature falling in the lower 50s in the afternoon. Northeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Chance of rain 70%. Saturday night, showers. Near steady temperature in the upper 40s. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 80%. And now the extended forecast. Sunday and Sunday night, showers likely. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the lower 40s. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Tuesday and Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Highs around 60. Lows in the mid-40s. Thursday and Thursday night, partly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the upper 40s. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information, please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. The current time is 11:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The following reports of weather temperature and wind were made at 11 p.m. Atlanta, it was mostly cloudy. 65 degrees, dew point 59, relative humidity 81%. Wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Pressure was 30.03 inches and falling. Peachtree City, it was partly cloudy.
It's available, right? It's there. You'll see that oftentimes with clouds, but then you need it to finally release, right, and get to the surface. We'll show you what that mechanism is. Here's Friday and Saturday, widespread showers. Also look at the temperatures. Kind of chilly there, especially Houston, into the upper 50s on Saturday as your daytime high. New Orleans getting some much needed rain. That's going to help on multiple fronts. Those active marsh fires, the saltwater intrusion, and the drought. We're looking at this here, looking at widespread 3 to 5 inches of rain. That's a good sign because that will really start to dampen the entire region. It's not just isolated, then embedded in that south of Houston, like Galveston, they could get up to a half foot of rain. Why is this so important? Because you've looked at areas that have seen this drought persist or accentuate. So when you're looking down here into Louisiana, you may be saying, well, when I find it out here, it's only one category worse, because it couldn't get any worse than what it was. There's already an exceptional drought. So it's staying there and then even then some because of, historic levels there in portions of Louisiana. And then look at what's happening in central Mississippi, the Mississippi Delta. And by the way, I worked here, and this is massive farming agricultural areas. They need this, right? This is their livelihood, and they've gone through a flash drought, not only there, but into northern Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee, from Chattanooga to Huntsville. Finally, though, Jane, active weather. It's a good start.
Yeah, and hopefully to keep that going into the winter season. But here we go. November has been an interesting month. You know, we ended things on a little bit of a trick around Halloween, and then we had a nice treat to open up the week. But the warmth, as much as you may have loved it, is beginning to wane thanks to this cold front that's sparking the rain along the Gulf Coast, but it's also responsible for the dip in temperatures. So as we go through the day on Friday, we're starting to see the hint of that cool down in places like Atlanta, which, by the way, we started the week in the lower 80s, which for November standards is pretty warm for the ATL. New Orleans 77. It's the Sunshine State that doesn't see much in the way of a cool down, even as we head into the weekend. For tomorrow, we've got potential record highs as we go through the afternoon. 85 for Jacksonville. We go down to Punta Gorda, 90 degrees. Snowbirds, they're loving it. They're not complaining one bit. So this high pressure that sits beneath that cold front, it's been there all week. It's been sitting really just off through central portions of the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to shift a little bit further back to the east. That cold front nudges it out of the way, and that high pressure, it's going to compress all of that heat beneath that front. Well, you can see the front's made it down through the panhandle, and so really the heat sticks to Florida as we go into Saturday. Atlanta, it is a hard stop for you. Somebody saw Mother Nature saw a state trooper on I-20 or I-75 because we go to 55 degrees, and that's insulting for Atlanta. I get it. I lived in Georgia, and we stick with the 50s with rain through the weekend. Yeah, indoor activities, but I say finally November standards. It's a perfect motivator, perhaps, to get inside decorations up for the holidays. Unfortunately, though, for Tampa, we're holding on to the heat. Unfortunately or fortunately, no matter way you look at it, somebody's going to like the weather.
Yeah. Hey, Saturday means you got to watch college football inside, and Sunday you start decorating, as Jane has mentioned. Hey, Fox Weather, we're your Hurricane HQ, and we're finally seeing a little bit of sign of life. Remember, we've been talking about how quiet it's been in November. Well, something could pop up in the southwestern Caribbean Sea in the next week or two, or even earlier. Look at this. This is the potential development, possible disturbance number one, 20%, right? It's not a great number, right? We're not looking at a high-end potential, but notice over the next 7 days it's zero because it's running out of real estate. This is the possible development area. You can see underneath the yellow. Yellow is the area. Underneath that shows you the thunderstorm activity. Plenty of instability just off the coast of Nicaragua and Honduras. And if it drifts into Central America, it's not going to have enough time to organize, but it means more active weather. But this is maybe a sign of foreshadowing of what could happen into the middle to end or latter half of November. It's still the Atlantic hurricane season. This is that spot where when you find it, high-end chance of tropical depression there into the southwestern corridor of the Caribbean Sea. Something we'll continue to watch here as Fox Weather, we're your Hurricane HQ.
Well, today's Fox Weather Flashback remembers the deadly campfire in Paradise, California. It started when poor infrastructure created a faulty power line and ignited the blaze. Extremely dry and windy conditions spread the blaze into a firestorm within hours. In the town of Paradise, at least 85 residents were trapped and died. The campfire was enormous, burning more than 150,000 acres, and it was active for 18 days. 5 years later, Paradise Mayor Greg Boland is optimistic about the town's recovery efforts. And still ahead, we honor our nation's veterans. We'll talk with the U.S. Marine vet who now serves as the incident commander for the Cajun Navy. You'll see how they race to the rescue in times of weather disasters. That's coming up next on Fox Weather Live.
Hi, I'm Jeff from Nuts.com. When my grandfather started this business, he relied on freshness, quality, variety, and service. We still deliver the freshest nuts, dried fruits, snacks, and sweets to families all around the country. Nuts.com. Enjoy free shipping on your first order.
This stuff is a miracle. It took us 60 prototypes. Wow. When we made this stuff, it grew into the #1 dermatologist recommended sweat brand for all over the body. When people say this is the first thing I've tried that stopped my sweat, that makes my day. We have a sweat quiz that'll customize the products for you based on where you sweat, based on how much you sweat. Free shipping, money back guarantee. There's really no risk to giving it a try. If you had a sweaty face or sweaty underarms or sweaty hands, that's really why we made Carpe.
Avoid expensive treatments, injections, and prescriptions. Your total body sweat solution is available at mycarpe.com.
At GoToBank, we're for the go-to people in life. That's why we created the ultimate banking app. Easy to use and no monthly fees with direct deposit.
Do I get free ATMs?
Pay my bills? Yes and yes. It's mobile banking at its best. Open an account at gotobank.com.
This important message is for Marines and family members who spent 30 days on base at Camp Lejeune prior to 1988.
As a U.S. military veteran, I'm here to inform you that if you or someone you love has been diagnosed with cancer, Parkinson's, or other serious health issues after spending time at Camp Lejeune, you may qualify for financial compensation. Call now to determine your eligibility.
I called to see if I qualify. They helped me a lot.
Leaking chemical storage tanks at Camp Lejeune can
degrees, wind southeast at 3 miles an hour. Columbus, it was partly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind calm. Marietta, it was partly cloudy, 64 degrees, wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Birmingham, it was mostly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind east at 3 miles an hour. Huntsville, it was cloudy, 61 degrees, wind north at 9 miles an hour. Here is the hazardous weather outlook. This hazardous weather outlook is for portions of north and central Georgia. For tonight, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. And now the extended outlook for the period Friday through Wednesday, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. Spotter information statement, spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. Here is the official forecast from your National Weather Service for the west central Georgia listening area. Tonight, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers this evening, then a chance of showers after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Light southwest winds. Chance of rain 30%. Friday, a chance of showers in the morning, then showers likely in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 60s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Friday night, showers likely. Lows in the lower 50s. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Veterans Day, showers likely. Highs in the upper 50s. Temperature falling in the lower 50s in the afternoon. Northeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Chance of rain 70%. Saturday night, showers. Near steady temperature in the upper 40s. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 80%. And now the extended forecast. Sunday and Sunday night, showers likely. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the lower 40s. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Tuesday and Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Highs around 60. Lows in the mid-40s. Thursday and Thursday night, partly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the upper 40s. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information, please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. The current time is 11:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The following reports of weather temperature and wind were made at 11 p.m. Atlanta, it was mostly cloudy. 65 degrees, dew point 59, relative humidity 81%. Wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Pressure was 30.03 inches and falling. Peachtree City, it was partly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 56, relative humidity 96%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.04 inches and falling. Anniston, it was partly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 55, relative humidity 93%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.03 inches and steady. Elsewhere around the region, Rome, it was cloudy, 69 degrees, wind south at 3 miles an hour. Chattanooga, it was mostly cloudy, 68 degrees, wind north at 8 miles an hour. At Gainesville, it was partly cloudy. Visibility 10 miles. Temperature was 67 degrees, dew point 59. And the pressure was 30.04 inches and falling. Athens, it was mostly cloudy, 62 degrees, wind variable at 3 miles an hour. Macon, it was clear, 61 degrees, wind southeast at 3 miles an hour. Columbus, it was partly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind calm. Marietta, it was partly cloudy, 64 degrees, wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Birmingham, it was mostly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind east at 3 miles an hour. Huntsville, it was cloudy, 61 degrees, wind north at 9 miles an hour. Here is the hazardous weather outlook. This hazardous weather outlook is for portions of north and central Georgia. For tonight, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. And now the extended outlook for the period Friday through Wednesday, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. Spotter information statement, spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. Here is the official forecast from your National Weather Service for the West Central Georgia listening area. Tonight, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers this evening, then a chance of showers after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Light southwest winds. Chance of rain 30%. Friday, a chance of showers in the morning, then showers likely in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 60s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Friday night, showers likely. Lows in the lower 50s. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Veterans Day, showers likely. Highs in the upper 50s. Temperature falling in the lower 50s in the afternoon. Northeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Chance of rain 70%. Saturday night, showers. Near steady temperature in the upper 40s. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 80%. And now the extended forecast. Sunday and Sunday night, showers likely. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the lower 40s. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Tuesday and Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Highs around 60. Lows in the mid-40s. Thursday and Thursday night, partly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the upper 40s. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information, please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. The current time is 11:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The following reports of weather, temperature, and wind were made at 11 p.m. Atlanta, it was mostly cloudy. 65 degrees, dew point 59, relative humidity 81%. Wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Pressure was 30.03 inches and falling. Peachtree City, it was partly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 56, relative humidity 96%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.04 inches and falling. Anniston, it was partly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 55, relative humidity 93%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.03 inches and steady. Elsewhere around the region, Rome, it was cloudy, 69 degrees, wind south at 3 miles an hour. Chattanooga, it was mostly cloudy, 68 degrees, wind north at 8 miles an hour. At Gainesville, it was partly cloudy. Visibility 10 miles. Temperature was 67 degrees, dew point 59. And the pressure was 30.04 inches and falling. Athens, it was mostly cloudy, 62 degrees, wind variable at 3 miles an hour. Macon, it was clear, 61 degrees, wind southeast at 3 miles an hour. Columbus, it was partly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind calm. Marietta, it was partly cloudy, 64 degrees, wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Birmingham, it was mostly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind east at 3 miles an hour. Huntsville, it was cloudy, 61 degrees, wind north at 9 miles an hour. Here is the hazardous weather outlook. This hazardous weather outlook is for portions of north and central Georgia. For tonight, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. And now the extended outlook for the period Friday through Wednesday, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. Spotter information statement, spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. Here is the official forecast from your National Weather Service for the West Central Georgia listening area. Tonight, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers this evening, then a chance of showers after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Light southwest winds. Chance of rain 30%. Friday, a chance of showers in the morning, then showers likely in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 60s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Friday night, showers likely. Lows in the lower 50s. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Veterans Day, showers likely. Highs in the upper 50s. Temperature falling in the lower 50s in the afternoon. Northeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Chance of rain 70%. Saturday night, showers. Near steady temperature in the upper 40s. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 80%. And now the extended forecast. Sunday and Sunday night, showers likely. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the lower 40s. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Tuesday and Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Highs around 60. Lows in the mid-40s. Thursday and Thursday night, partly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the upper 40s. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information, please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. The current time is 11:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The following reports of weather, temperature, and wind were made at 11 p.m. Atlanta, it was mostly cloudy. 65 degrees, dew point 59, relative humidity 81%. Wind southwest at 3 miles an hour. Pressure was 30.03 inches and falling. Peachtree City, it was partly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 56, relative humidity 96%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.04 inches and falling. Anniston, it was partly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 55, relative humidity 93%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.03 inches and steady. Elsewhere around the region, Rome, it was cloudy, 69 degrees.
This past December, Judge Glanville signed this order suspending defendants' ability to request speedy trials, citing the pandemic and an overwhelming backlog for the reason. It ended in July, but the result, potentially thousands of people unable to move their cases forward for months.
Do you think that suspension impacted the backlog during that time?
I would say so, because we were not able to try as many cases during the pandemic, given the health concerns. So, yeah, it had an effect.
To address the backlog, the judge says his colleagues created a temporary program to fund more court-appointed attorneys. They're also holding court inside the jail on Saturdays, but they need the commission to fund more judge positions.
A year from now, what do you think the numbers will be, or what do you think the conversation will be?
The conversation will be that these numbers will continue to decrease. We're constitutionally mandated to give you time and opportunity to have your case heard, either before a judge or jury, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
WANF Chief Investigative Reporter Andy Parati joins me now. Andy, what's been the response since releasing Georgia's Gitmo this week?
You know, there's been a lot of outrage that there are people inside the jail that have been waiting years for their day in court. Outrage for Mr. D'Anthony Tolbert that we profiled in the first piece, who waited 4 years for his trial, ultimately found innocent, and while he was in jail, stabbed multiple times. So a lot of outrage, but also not a lot of surprise because of the constant news stories of this jail over the past decade, really. This year, especially, with 10 people awaiting trial at the jail who died. So a lot of outrage, not a lot of surprise. We did get one email from a state senator, and I'm going to read this email that he sent me saying, "Your docuseries helps show important components of the problems plaguing Fulton County Jail. The Georgia State Senate has formed a subcommittee to thoroughly investigate and identify the root cause and solutions to correct these critical issues." That hearing with the subcommittee is scheduled tomorrow.
Wow, impressive, getting results. Is the court backlog and jail problem in Atlanta an isolated issue, or are you seeing that across the state of Georgia?
This failure is really across the state of Georgia. It is especially bad in Fulton County because it's the state's largest. We profiled a gentleman named Maurice Jemerson in Albany, Georgia, about 3 hours away from Atlanta, right on Local News Live a couple of months ago. His name is Maurice Jemerson. He waited 10 years for his trial, and while he was behind bars, he didn't have an attorney for several months. After we profiled the story, he ultimately got an attorney. He went to trial, and
Biden has been pushing Israel for a days-long pause in the fighting and for an increase in humanitarian assistance for Gaza. The Israelis say these tactical localized pauses will allow for safe distribution of aid supplies. And despite growing pressure on Israel to declare a ceasefire, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insisted that is a non-starter.
One thing we haven't agreed to is a ceasefire. A ceasefire with Hamas means surrender to Hamas, surrender to terror, and the victory of Iran's axis of terror. So there won't be a ceasefire without the release of the Israeli hostages.
For the very latest, live to London, and journalist Elliot Gotkin. So, Elliot, US has made it clear that, Israel will quickly lose international support if this Gaza offensive continues as it has. The Israelis, though, seem unmoved by that. These 4-hour pauses seem to be, localized and well short of White House demands. And if anything, the offensive seems to be ramping up.
John, it's not just short of White House demands, it's also short of demands from Arab leaders, for example, and the Emiratis and the Qataris again reiterated the need for an immediate ceasefire right now in order to allow civilians to get out of harm's way, and also, of course, to allow for more humanitarian aid to go in. But from Israel's perspective, these tactical localized pauses, as they are calling them, strikes from their perspective a balance between allowing Palestinians Palestinian civilians to get out of the northern part of the Gaza Strip, which is the focus of Israeli operations and where their ground forces are, and to enable them to get to the relative safety of the south of Gaza, and also to allow for more humanitarian aid in at the same time. And we've heard from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu there, Yoav Gallant, the defense minister, also reiterating that this doesn't qualify as a ceasefire. And I suppose from Israel's perspective, of course, it also has to think about what the Israelis, the Israeli people are wanting, which of course is the return of those 240 or so hostages still being held by militants, Hamas and also Islamic Jihad in the Gaza Strip, and that there can be no ceasefire. So in order to not break that promise and that unwavering commitment to not have a ceasefire, to keep fighting until those hostages are released, I suppose that is one reason why this is simply being called a tactical localized pause. And as you say, this is falling short of the longer humanitarian pause, for want of a better name, that the US is calling for, and of course the immediate ceasefire of actions that the Arab world and many others in the international community are calling for. John.
Hello, thank you. Ali Kotkin, live for us in London. Appreciate it. Dan O'Shea is a former Navy SEAL commander and coordinator of the hostage working group at the US Embassy in Baghdad. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
So when the Israeli Prime Minister says no ceasefire, he's referring to a formal agreement by both sides to hold their fire while efforts are made to permanently end hostilities. That's not going to happen. But there have been ongoing talks in recent days between Israel, Hamas, the United States, brokered by Qatar, which are focused on a plan for the release between 10 to 20 civilian hostages in return for a 3-day pause in fighting, the entry of further aid, and to enable Hamas to compile and hand over a list of hostages being held in Gaza. I guess, that 3-day pause isn't going to happen, but if there is a deal to be done here with Hamas for a mass release of these hostages, will it simply be a reflection of how much pressure either side is under, be it from within Israel for the families of the hostages, or in Gaza from the civilians there who need humanitarian assistance, or even the fighters who need to regroup?
It's a combination of all those things. Both sides are under tremendous pressure. Obviously, Hamas is dealing with the weight of the offensive, which to date has made significant gains and in clearing out certain territory. They're taking down the tunnel network, so they're under tremendous pressure. Hamas has grabbed these hostages in the first place because they're their only bargaining chip, and they're trying to, the Islamic Jihad, which is offering up supposedly 2 hostages, they've said if appropriate measures are met, and what those appropriate measures are met are being debated in Qatar. Those mean, is it going to be a 4-hour ceasefire, a 6-hour ceasefire, a 10-hour ceasefire? Is it going to be in exchange for humanitarian relief convoys that we know have been drastically reduced to get in much needed fuel, food, and medical supplies, and gasoline to keep these generators running? So there's a 1,001 different demands.
As you mentioned, there's more than one militant group in Gaza holding these hostages. There's Hamas, there's Islamic Jihad. They did release that video. They chose an elderly woman and a young boy as being potential for release at some point. Why choose those 2 people, an old woman, a young boy, and also why make them sort of that message which was sent out to the people of Israel? Is that some kind of, what's Islamic Jihad hoping to achieve with that?
This is classic, and I wrote this after I left Iraq years ago. This is hostage terrorism. Terrorist groups who use the criminal act of abducting and holding hostages and individuals against their will to announce their agenda, raise their profile, negatively influence world opinion, disrupt, degrade the political will and decision-making ability of their declared adversary. Their adversary is Benjamin Netanyahu, and in this case, they have an old Israeli woman and a young Israeli boy, arguably 2 of the most vulnerable of these victims, a young child and a grandmother, that are putting pressure on Netanyahu himself to call for a ceasefire so that medical aid, electricity, and water can be delivered into Gaza, because it's affecting everyone, not just the Gazan citizens, the Hamas terrorists fighting the Israeli offensive, but the hostages themselves are feeling this. And that's why a grandmother and a young boy are the perfect messengers for Hamas to reveal, or Islamic Jihad to reveal this message via that proof of life video to the world.
I want you to listen to Israel's president. Here he is talking about his view on hostage negotiations so far with Hamas. Listen to this.
There's no real proposal that is viable from Hamas's side on this issue. I'm saying outright, according to my knowledge, up till now, there's no real substantial information that is showing any real offer of any process on the table. And that is unfortunate.
So even if these negotiations end without any kind of agreement, what's to be gained by the fact that they actually happened, that they took place in the first place?
Well, the challenge is, even though negotiations are going on behind the scenes in Qatar, Hamas is not sitting across the table from an Israeli representative of the Israeli government. So all this is being done in third-party channels between non-government organizations like the Red Crescent, Red Cross, and then players, key players, both within the Qatari government, we can presume Egyptian government. But that's the challenge, that there's probably not direct negotiations between Hamas, a terrorist organization, and Israel, a state actor. And that's why there's just too much speculation to know what is actually happening in Qatar, because it's not like it's being broadcast of two states negotiating across the table like the peace accords in Paris after Vietnam. And that's why a lot of this is pure speculation. And there, again, no one knows what's happening because it's largely happening behind the scenes.
Dan, thanks so much for being with us. Dan Shea, the former Navy SEAL and hostage working group in the Baghdad Embassy for the US. Thanks for being with us, Dan.
Thank you.
For 34 days, Gaza has been the target of an unrelenting Israeli military campaign by air, land and sea. For the first time in more than 50 years, a major Israeli ground offensive is underway. Gaza has never seen anything like this in scale and intensity. Much of the fighting has been in the north. CNN's Oren Lieberman embedded with the Israeli military for a first-hand look at the destruction and devastation left behind. First, though, a disclaimer. CNN reported under IDF escort at all times and agreed to their standard request to review all images recorded in Gaza. But CNN did not submit its script to the IDF and retained total editorial control over the report you're about to see.
Through the breach, we enter northern Gaza at the Erez border crossing. The land here, once fertile farmland, is barren, and the trees that might have provided enemy cover destroyed. In the distance, smoke from an Israeli airstrike is a stark reminder that this is day 34 of a war that may stretch much longer. On Thursday, the IDF chief of staff and the head of the country's internal security service entered Gaza and promised strength through cooperation. Everyone is doing everything, said General Herzi Halevi, just so you can be as strong as possible. Along our path in northern Gaza, the signs of civilian life have given way to the constant hum of drones and the distant echoes of artillery. Our time with the IDF began at the coordination base for the border crossing, the first international media to visit the site. The terror attack on October 7 hit hard here, the scars of machine gun fire and RPGs still visible. The base was mostly empty on the holiday, but not entirely. The IDF says 9 soldiers were killed here and 3 kidnapped. It took 12 hours for Israel to regain control of the base. Now it's one of the main gates to Gaza. A month into the war, more than 10,000 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza, according to the Hamas-controlled Palestinian Health Ministry there. The IDF says 35 Israeli soldiers have been killed in the Strip since the start of the incursion. The October 7th attack by Hamas in Israel killed more than 1,400 people, mostly civilians. We stop at an overlook near the town of Jabalia.
One of the things uncovered here on this hill near Jabalia is a meeting point of 3 different tunnels. And you can see, if you take a look, that's 1, 2, 3. They came together here, and it let Hamas move underground quickly below the feet and out of sight.
Colonel Tal, the tank commander, says there were many explosives here. There were many trenches. There were a lot of weapons and ammunition. We found here a storage site with many explosives against tanks, RPGs. Even from a distance, the scale of the destruction is stunning. Apartment buildings, homes, neighborhoods decimated. Colonel Tal says the area is almost completely evacuated. We don't see civilians in our eyes. We see sometimes terrorists, but the majority of civilians haven't been here in a while. They've all gone south in the direction of the heart of the Strip. As we talk, we hear rocket fire and see the trails of the launches, triggering red alerts in Ashdod. After about 90 minutes inside northern Gaza, we make our way out, hugging the border wall for safety. Even here, so close to the exit, we stop briefly so the dust clears and we can make sure the way ahead is safe. In the distance, once again, the smoke from another strike. Oren Lieberman, CNN in northern Gaza.
When we return here on CNN, the latest climate change data is out, and scientists say it reads like a script for a disaster movie. And it seems we all have a major role.
Survivors of this and the families of the people who were killed, did they have legal recourse here now, since there were warnings given to authorities before the shootings?
So suing a government entity, whether it be a state or an agency, can be very difficult due to a lot of laws that limit liability. With respect to whether there may be some sort of workaround for the victims, I can't say for sure, but it certainly would be an uphill battle, given limited liability for government entities and agencies.
Gotcha.
Morgan, as this country deals with more mass shootings, what kind of shifts in laws are you seeing, if any?
So particularly close to home here where we are, Montgomery County has passed a slew of laws in response to the striking down of their good and substantial reason requirement. And they've substantially limited the places where a firearm may be carried, including an establishment that sells alcohol or cannabis on site. That particular provision has, of course, been enjoined by a federal court and can't currently be enforced. But other portions of the law that can be enforced are carrying a firearm anywhere near a public school, a private university, a health facility, stadiums. Really kind of restricting where people can have these firearms is really what we've been seeing. There aren't really any restrictions that I've seen on the number of firearms that a particular person can purchase in their lifetime. So the reality is, if you have an individual that has a serious mental health issue, but they are living near people with stockpiles of weapons, can you keep them away? I mean, that's the real question, because he couldn't lawfully purchase the firearm after he went to the mental health facility. And so, he tried to purchase the silencer, as we know, months prior to the shooting and was denied. My understanding is that he went to a mental health facility at the assistance of fellow Army officers. And as a result of that stay in the facility, he became ineligible to purchase a firearm and a silencer.
Such an important conversation to have, to continue here as we deal with these tragedies. Morgan Lay, a DC-based criminal defense attorney with the Markham Law Firm, thank you so much for your expertise on this as so many questions remain.
Thank you both. It is a serious topic, and thank you for having me.
Yeah, I know.
A time of high tension, of course, between the two countries.
Joining us now is Zoe Liu with the Council on Foreign Relations. Zoe, thank you for joining us. China has been increasingly aggressive in the South China Sea. Just last week, we saw a Chinese fighter jet come within 10 feet of a U.S. bomber. Are you surprised that the two leaders have reportedly agreed to meet?
And Graham and Camilla, thank you very much for having me. To answer your question directly, honestly, no, I am not surprised at all for the two leaders to meet. Part of the reason is because
is an injustice.
The new rules are welcomed by Catholics in the LGBTQ community, but they offer conservatives in the church another point of contention. Before the new baptism decision was announced, conservatives led by U.S. Cardinal Raymond Burke warned that too many changes can lead to confusion. The new rules still mean homosexuality is a sin in the eyes of the church, but they do offer an opportunity for inclusion in an ancient institution that often seems slow to change. Barbie Lazzanetto, CNN, Rome.
Well, there might just be another surprise candidate running for president in the United States in 2024. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin has announced he will not run for re-election to the Senate next year. A major blow for Democrats, hoping to keep his seat in deep red West Virginia, a state Donald Trump handily won back in 2020. But here's the twist. Manchin isn't quitting just to spend time with family. He's hinting about a possible run for the White House. CNN's Manu Raju has more.
Joe Manchin making a decision that will shake up the United States Senate and have huge ramifications in the battle for control of the chamber by announcing he will not run for re-election in West Virginia. He would have had a difficult time winning against Jim Justice, who's the sitting governor, someone who's running in the Republican primary and is the frontrunner for the party's nomination. Polls had shown that Manchin was struggling against Jim Justice, but by Manchin stepping aside, it will be much harder, if not impossible, for Democrats to win that seat, to keep it in their hands. That means if the seat flips red, Democrats will have a much tougher time keeping the majority. Right now at 51-49. If one seat goes to the Republican side, it's 50-50. Also Manchin, a central player for so many years in the Senate, given his conservative politics and the fact that he's been a swing vote on so many key issues. And just in Biden's first few years in office, being a central player in some of the president's key legislative achievements, whether it's the Inflation Reduction Act or the infrastructure law, or playing a key role in the bipartisan gun safety legislation. But that doesn't mean that he's beloved by Democrats. In fact, he has been on the outs for Democrats for some time. Many progressives, liberals, angry at him for not agreeing to change Senate filibuster rules, which have allowed them to pass a whole suite of Democratic legislation. Also, a whole range of issues he has pushed back on them on, which has made him a pariah among the left. That has also fed calls of potentially Manchin running as a third-party candidate in the presidential race. He suggested in his announcement video that he's going to try to galvanize to see if there's a movement of people on both sides of the aisle where they can figure out a way to work together. What does that mean? Will he run for president in a third-party ticket? He does not address that. That speculation will only continue. But he says it is time for him for a new chapter in life, a 76-year-old Democrat who has had a huge impact on West Virginia and the politics here in the Senate. Manu Raju, CNN, Capitol Hill.
Well, as Israel's war with Hamas grinds on, U.S. and allied forces in the Middle East are coming under increased fire. At least 4 missile and drone attacks in Iraq and Syria since Wednesday, leaving 3 U.S. service members with minor injuries, according to U.S. officials. Hours earlier, a weapons storage facility in eastern Syria was targeted by a U.S. airstrike. Officials in Washington say it was controlled by Iran's Revolutionary Guard, believed responsible for many of at least 46 attacks on American troops since mid-October. Disturbing new video from Sudan's West Darfur region is raising concerns of a new surge in ethnically driven killings. Troops who appear to belong to the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces are seen rounding up civilians from one ethnic group while yelling racist slurs and a whole lot worse. More details now from CNN's David McKenzie, and a warning: his report, as you would expect, contains some graphic images.
The evidence of alleged atrocities in Western Darfur keep on piling up. On Wednesday, we brought you these videos geolocated to the outskirts of Al Janaina in Western Darfur. It shows Rapid Support Forces and other aligned militia, we believe, rounding up people from largely African ethnicities in that city, in some cases abusing them physically, in other cases racially abusing them verbally. We don't know what exactly happened to these individuals who look terrified in the video. This is all taking place here in Al Janeina in western Darfur, in the region, we believe, close to an army base where the RSF attacked in recent days. And I want to show you this disturbing image, which shows at least 12 bodies. We've blurred some of those bodies, but you get a sense of the atrocities that have been happening in that region. We've managed to geolocate this image to the same area as some of those videos, but we do not know yet whether it's the same individuals you see in the videos that are in the still image, nor do we know exactly when this image was taken. The US Embassy in Khartoum has said they're deeply disturbed by the eyewitness accounts of ethnic targeting happening in West Darfur. Thousands have been streaming over the border into Chad in recent days, according to Doctors Without Borders, but there's no sign of the violence abating. And the RSF, who denies any involvement in ethnic killings or targeting, in a response to our query, says that they will be pushing on to another major center in that region. David McKenzie, CNN, Johannesburg.
When we come back here on CNN, 4 weeks of raids by the Israeli military in the West Bank and a growing death toll among Palestinians, with fears the violence will only be getting worse. The very latest in a moment.
Highs around 60. Lows in the mid-40s. Thursday and Thursday night, partly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the upper 40s. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information, please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. The current time is 12:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The following reports of weather, temperature, and wind were made at midnight. Atlanta, it was partly cloudy. 65 degrees, dew point 59, relative humidity 81%. Wind southwest at 5 miles an hour. Pressure was 30.03 inches and steady. Peachtree City, fog was reported. 56 degrees, dew point 55, relative humidity 97%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.04 inches and steady. Anniston, it was mostly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 56, relative humidity 96%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.02 inches and falling. Elsewhere around the region, Rome.
Gaza simply formalizes what has already been happening since last weekend, but now on a daily basis. But Israel's Prime Minister stressed these 4-hour windows do not amount to a ceasefire, and there will be no ceasefire without the release of all hostages. All of this coming as the Israeli Defense Forces say their troops are now on the ground inside Gaza City fighting Hamas jihadis. More now from CNN's Selma Abdelaziz.
If you are among those still in northern Gaza, this is what life looks like now, the heart of a battle zone. May God protect us, this man says. Those who do not have the means to leave, we will have to stay where we are. It's as if they've sentenced us to death. The Israeli military continues to call on all residents of northern Gaza to move south. It is the forced exodus of an entire population, Palestinians say. But some are unable or unwilling to heed the warning. Thousands of them are taking shelter at Gaza City hospitals. Among them, patients that can't be moved, families too afraid to travel through bombs and bullets, and medical staff loyal to a duty of care. Dr. Mohammed Abu Namous says he has sent his family away, but he will stay behind. What can be done? There's no other way out of this. There is no safety, he says. That's why it's best if I get my family out so I can focus on treating patients. On Wednesday alone, as many as 50,000 people made the perilous journey south via the time-limited corridors set up by the Israeli military.
They're moving because they understand that Hamas has lost control in the north and that the south is safer, a safer area where they receive medicine, water and food. They understand it's an improvement.
But the south is not safe, and hardly an improvement. Israeli airstrikes level homes here too. And the conditions for the estimated 1.5 million now cramped in this corner of the enclave are described as inhumane. Thousands of the displaced are living on the street. There is no aid, no water, the toilets are closed, she says, and no bakeries. We get a single loaf of bread every 3 or 4 days after waiting in long lines for half a day. And UN shelters are overcrowded. At one site, at least 600 people must share a single toilet, the UN says. And as for humanitarian assistance, it is so far a drop in the ocean of need.
This is the gateway to a hellish nightmare. And then I see in front of me the lifeline that would bring relief and humanitarian assistance, which until now has not been enough. Woefully inadequate.
The conditions are so dire that this family says they decided to leave a UN shelter and move back into the ruins of their bombed-out home. We're still afraid, of course, for our children, but it's the lesser of two evils, this father says. At least it's better than being surrounded by disease, hunger, and fear. At least here, our children are at home. With 3 out of every 4 Gazans internally displaced, the UN estimates, home is what so many dream of here, but many fear that sense of normalcy will never return. Salma Abdulaziz, CNN, London.
According to new data from the UN, the war between Israel and Hamas could set the Palestinian economy back decades. Already, in just 4 weeks, the number of Palestinians living in poverty has risen by 300,000. Poverty in the West Bank and Gaza up 20%. In Gaza, employment is down more than 60%. And the Palestinian economy now in recession, falling by more than 4%.
Not just Gaza, for the Palestinian economy, to lose 4% of GDP in 1 month, that's not comparable to any conflict we have seen before. The Syrian economy used to lose 1% of GDP per month.
The UN predicts an 11 to 16-year setback for Palestinians' human development, which includes areas of health, education, growth and business. Staying in the West Bank, raids have become a daily occurrence as part of Israel's counter-terrorism offensive. And for Palestinians who live there, the violence and restrictions are something they've been dealing with for years, but now appear to be getting much stricter. CNN's Nada Bashir has our report and a warning. Her report contains some graphic images.
Yet another Israeli incursion into the occupied West Bank. Yet more violence. Palestinians here in the El Amari refugee camp taking cover from incoming tear gas fired by Israeli forces. IDF raids have become a daily occurrence here. Israel's military says it is targeting armed Palestinian groups as part of its counter-terrorism operation. But the number of casualties amongst Palestinians is growing with each passing day, with more than 170 killed in the last 4 weeks alone, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health. In downtown Ramallah, daily life continues, but the impact of Israel's often violent security tactics are felt by all. The occupation has always been an issue. It affects us economically and it affects our daily lives too. Each and every day, Palestinians are killed or injured here. There are Israeli raids every day too. and people are still being forcibly evicted from their homes. The signposts of Israel's decades-long occupation are evident here, from the concrete separation walls to checkpoints and watchtowers, and a dual legal and political system which, according to UN rights experts, privileges Israelis in illegal settlements over a more than 3 million strong Palestinian population. In other words, UN and other human rights experts say, a system of apartheid. Mariam Barghouti, a Palestinian journalist and analyst living in the occupied West Bank, tells me Israel's repressive tactics were intensifying long before the beginning of the war in Gaza.
I think it's wrong to try and see as restrictions getting worse. They have reached the climax of repression and the climax of violence. It's not just getting worse. We're reaching points of no return. And Palestinians have warned against this in 2021. And these warnings were not taken seriously. In the West Bank, there is no capability to fight back. Israel has access and control over movement, entry of resources, and the narrative.
But just as violence in the occupied West Bank intensifies, so do Israel's airstrikes on Gaza. The Israeli government has made clear its intention to rid Gaza of Hamas in its entirety, signaling that Israel will seek to establish overall security responsibility over Gaza for an indefinite period of time, with indications that a system similar to that in the West Bank could be on the table. But such proposals have been characterized by the Biden administration as a mistake.
We must also work on the affirmative elements to get to a sustained peace. These must include the Palestinian people's voices and aspirations at the center of post-crisis governance in Gaza. It must include Palestinian-led governance and Gaza unified with the West Bank under the Palestinian Authority.
But even under the Palestinian Authority's leadership in the occupied territories, Israel's security presence is pervasive. Palestinian homes frequently raided, torched, and bulldozed. Palestinian families in a constant cycle of mourning, and hopes for a viable Palestinian state slowly eroded. Nada Bashir, CNN in Ramallah.
In a moment here on CNN, how Israel is helping same-sex partners of fallen soldiers grieve and mourn their loss. In a moment.
Humidity 81%. Wind southwest at 5 miles an hour. Pressure was 30.03 inches and steady. Peachtree City, fog was reported. 56 degrees, dew point 55, relative humidity 97%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.04 inches and steady. Anniston, it was mostly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 56, relative humidity 96%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.02 inches and falling. Elsewhere around the region, Rome, it was cloudy, 69 degrees, wind calm. Chattanooga, it was mostly cloudy, 67 degrees, wind north at 7 miles an hour. At Gainesville, it was partly cloudy. Visibility 10 miles. Temperature was 65 degrees, dew point 58. And the pressure was 30.04 inches and steady. Athens, it was partly cloudy, 61 degrees, wind calm. Macon, it was partly cloudy, 59 degrees, wind northeast at 3 miles an hour. Columbus, it was partly cloudy, 60 degrees, wind calm. Marietta, it was partly cloudy, 60 degrees, wind calm. Birmingham, it was mostly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind calm. Huntsville, it was cloudy, 60 degrees, wind north at 5 miles an hour. Here is the hazardous weather outlook. This hazardous weather outlook is for portions of north and central Georgia. For tonight, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. And now the extended outlook for the period Friday through Wednesday. No hazardous weather is expected at this time. spotter information statement. Spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. Here is the official forecast from your National Weather Service for the West Central Georgia listening area. Tonight, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers this evening, then a chance of showers after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Light southwest winds. Chance of rain 30%. Friday, a chance of showers in the morning, then showers likely in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 60s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Friday night, showers likely. Lows in the lower 50s. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Veterans Day, showers likely. Highs in the upper 50s. Temperature falling in the lower 50s in the afternoon. Northeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Chance of rain 70%. Saturday night, showers. Near steady temperature in the upper 40s. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 80%. And now the extended forecast. Sunday and Sunday night, showers likely. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the lower 40s. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Tuesday and Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Highs around 60. Lows in the mid-40s. Thursday and Thursday night, partly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the upper 40s. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information, please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. You are listening to NOAA weather radio stations, WWH-23, broadcasting from Buchanan on facilities provided by Metropolitan Communications of Carrollton, on a frequency of 162.425 MHz, and KXI 76, broadcasting from near Lagrange on facilities supplied by Diverse Power, on a frequency of 162.45 MHz. WWH-23 serves the following Georgia and Alabama counties. In Georgia, Carroll, Douglas, Harrelson, Paulding, and Polk. In Alabama, Cleburne. KXI 76 serves the following Georgia and Alabama counties. In Georgia, Carroll, Coweta, Heard, Meriwether, and Troop. In Alabama, Chambers and Randolph. Visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta for the latest weather information, including watches and warnings. You can also like your Peachtree City National Weather Service on Facebook or follow NWS Atlanta on Twitter. The current time is 12:41 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The following reports of weather, temperature, and wind were made at midnight. Atlanta, it was partly cloudy. 65 degrees, dew point 59, relative humidity 81%. Wind southwest at 5 miles an hour. Pressure was 30.03 inches and steady. Peachtree City, fog was reported. 56 degrees, dew point 55, relative humidity 97%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.04 inches and steady. Anniston, it was mostly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 56, relative humidity 96%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.02 inches and falling. Elsewhere around the region, Rome, it was cloudy, 69 degrees, wind calm. Chattanooga, it was mostly cloudy, 67 degrees, wind north at 7 miles an hour. At Gainesville, it was partly cloudy. Visibility 10 miles. Temperature was 65 degrees, dew point 58. And the pressure was 30.04 inches, and steady. Athens, it was partly cloudy, 61 degrees, wind calm. Macon, it was partly cloudy, 59 degrees, wind northeast at 3 miles an hour. Columbus, it was partly cloudy, 60 degrees, wind calm. Marietta, it was partly cloudy, 60 degrees, wind calm. Birmingham, it was mostly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind calm. Huntsville, it was cloudy, 60 degrees, wind north at 5 miles an hour. Here is the hazardous weather outlook. This hazardous weather outlook is for portions of north and central Georgia. For tonight, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. And now the extended outlook for the period Friday through Wednesday, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. Spotter information statement, spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. Here is the official forecast from your National Weather Service for the West Central Georgia listening area. Tonight, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers this evening, then a chance of showers after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Light southwest winds. Chance of rain 30%. Friday, a chance of showers in the morning, then showers likely in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 60s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Friday night, showers likely. Lows in the lower 50s. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Veterans Day, showers likely. Highs in the upper 50s. Temperature falling in the lower 50s in the afternoon. Northeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Chance of rain 70%. Saturday night, showers. Near steady temperature in the upper 40s. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Sunday night, showers likely. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the lower 40s. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Tuesday and Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Highs around 60. Lows in the mid-40s. Thursday and Thursday night, partly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the upper 40s. At weather.gov/Atlanta. The current time is 12:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The following reports of weather, temperature, and wind were made at midnight. Atlanta, it was partly cloudy. 65 degrees, dew. Pressure was 30.03 inches and steady. Peachtree City, fog was reported. 56 degrees, dew point 55, relative humidity 97%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.04 inches and steady. Anniston, it was mostly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 56, relative humidity 96%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.02 inches and falling. Elsewhere around the region, Rome, it was cloudy, 69 degrees, wind calm. Chattanooga, it was mostly cloudy, 67 degrees, wind north at 7 miles an hour. At Gainesville, it was partly cloudy. Visibility 10 miles. Temperature was 65 degrees, dew point 58. And the pressure was 30.04 inches and steady. Athens, it was partly cloudy, 61 degrees, wind calm. Macon, it was partly cloudy, 59 degrees, wind northeast at 3 miles an hour. Columbus, it was partly cloudy, 60 degrees, wind calm. Marietta, it was partly cloudy, 60 degrees, wind calm. Birmingham, it was mostly cloudy, 63 degrees, wind calm. Huntsville, it was cloudy, 60 degrees, wind north at 5 miles an hour. Here is the hazardous weather outlook. This hazardous weather outlook is for portions of north and central Georgia. For tonight, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. And now the extended outlook for the period Friday through Wednesday, no hazardous weather is expected at this time. Spotter information statement, spotter activation will not be needed through tonight. Here is the official forecast from your National Weather Service for the West Central Georgia listening area. Tonight, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers this evening, then a chance of showers after midnight. Lows in the upper 50s. Light southwest winds. Chance of rain 30%. Friday, a chance of showers in the morning, then showers likely in the afternoon. Highs in the upper 60s. Northwest winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Friday night, showers likely. Lows in the lower 50s. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles an hour. Chance of rain 60%. Veterans Day, showers likely. Highs in the upper 50s. Temperature falling in the lower 50s in the afternoon. Northeast winds 15 to 20 miles an hour with gusts up to 25 miles an hour. Chance of rain 70%. Saturday night, showers. Near steady temperature in the upper 40s. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of rain 80%. And now the extended forecast. Sunday and Sunday night, showers likely. Highs in the lower 50s. Lows in the lower 40s. Monday and Monday night, mostly cloudy. A slight chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Tuesday and Tuesday night, mostly cloudy. A 30% chance of showers. Highs in the lower 60s. Lows in the lower 40s. Wednesday and Wednesday night, mostly cloudy. A 40% chance of showers. Highs around 60. Lows in the mid-40s. Thursday and Thursday night, partly cloudy. A 20% chance of showers. Highs in the mid-60s. Lows in the upper 40s. For more detailed weather, water, and climate information, please visit our website at weather.gov/Atlanta. The current time is 12:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The following reports of weather temperature and wind were made at midnight. Atlanta, it was partly cloudy. 65 degrees, dew point 59, relative humidity 81%. Wind southwest at 5 miles an hour. Pressure was 30.03 inches and steady. Peachtree City, fog was reported. 56 degrees, dew point 55, relative humidity 97%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.04 inches and steady. Anniston, it was mostly cloudy. 57 degrees, dew point 56, relative humidity 96%. Wind calm. Pressure was 30.02 inches and falling. Elsewhere around the region, Rome, it was cloudy, 69 degrees, wind calm. Chattanooga, it was mostly cloudy, 67 degrees, wind north at 7 miles an hour. At Gainesville, it was partly cloudy. Visibility 10 miles.
I've worn this shirt a lot, man. You have no idea. I've been involved in the UAW longer than you were alive, man.
Showcasing his pro-union credentials in a red United Auto Workers t-shirt, President Biden praised union members while meeting with them in Belvedere, Illinois, Thursday.
The members of the UAW, you're tough as they come.
The president was celebrating a tentative contract agreement between the UAW and America's big three automakers, Ford, GM, and Stellantis, deals which ended a nearly 45-day-long strike which impacted thousands of workers.
The deal you reached set a new standard. Over 30% increase in wages with cost of living adjustments.
Contracts still need to be approved by more than 100,000 UAW members, but that didn't stop the president from taking a victory lap of sorts near a Stellantis plant that is set to reopen in a matter of years. And while the White House stayed out of direct UAW talks, the president personally advocated for the plant to stay open.
I'm fighting for a place like Belvedere because I came as a president determined to put an end to this trickle-down economics in this country.
It's help UAW's president, Shawn Fain, made sure to thank President Biden for.
And I'm grateful for the support shown by the White House throughout this fight.
While the UAW and the White House are celebrating, a recent New York Times poll shows registered voters in multiple swing states are not feeling good about the economy. Only 2% say things are excellent, while a whopping 52% of voters rank the economy as poor. While the UAW thanked the president for his support so far, they have yet to offer an endorsement for him for next year's campaign, but an endorsement could come within a matter of weeks. Reporting in Belvedere, Illinois, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Thank you, Mark, for that report. We're going to step away for our final break here at Live Now from Fox. When we come back, I'm going to play out some more of President Biden's remarks earlier today near Chicago. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.